couple of occasions. They'll know it as well. Well, this young Leopards team, well, feeling very confident. Boy, they scored some beautiful tries there. Second phase, a real feature of their game as well, Troy.
Absolutely, yeah, it was a slow motion fest for them, and all of the action replays will be up on the ARL TV YouTube channel tomorrow morning, and you'll be able to catch up on all the action that has unfolded here today, not just on this match with the SAS Fox Memorial game of the round, but also the Crown Lift Trucks Shaman Cup match that was on at 12:20 this afternoon.
As the day goes on, I dare say it's not getting any warmer down here at Prince Edward Park. Difficult conditions to play in. There's the occasional strong gust of wind as well. So something else for those players to consider as Otahuhu go into their final little huddle up before we resume the second half here at Prince Edward Park.
Kevin Mitchell, the chairman, is down on the Papakura Seagulls dead ball line, and I dare say he'll be having a chat to them on the scrambling on the try line if the Seagulls find themselves down that end of the field. Otahuhu getting ready now, and there's quite a brisk breeze coming across the park on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, from right to left. Here we go.
So Paki gets us back underway. High one, which is bouncing, collected by Papakura, who gets straight back into it. And boy, do they need a quick start on this second half. They need tries, but first of all, they need to start winning that middle battle as we see Footy carried forward. To Sessi, one of their best in the first 40 minutes. Havili jumps out at dummy half, had Guasi looming up in support. Now Ikaehifo hits the line, takes them up over halfway. Papakura, so good yardage in this opening set now. Can they get to a good kick at the end of it? Stowers looks to the sky. Chase is coming, but well done at the back by Otahuhu, fielded that time by Captain Tanakwea. Setu 2 now coming in for some work. Had a good first half, did too. Heavily involved. Nuka brings one back off the back fence. Big losses in the last fortnight for this Otahuhu team, but when you put it into context, up against Glenora and Mount Albert, pretty good performances, and I know Coach John Ackland was pretty content with the way his team has played in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he felt they'd taken a lot of learnings out of those two matches.
Napara jumps out of dummy half, just raises that knee there. Turofenua finishes him in over the top. Havili jumps off a quick play of the ball now. So they're getting some yardage through the middle of the park, Papakura. Uasi. Stowers plays short now. They get the offload out the back as well to Willie Stowers. Ball is bobbled and it's going to be called back for a knock on. So up and in defence from Otahuhu, and they force the error off Stowers. Will he feature in the final 17 for the Tonga New Zealand residents when it's named? Of course, he's in the train-on squad, coached by Dwayne Mann, who's probably watching on today. Keep an eye on some of his prospects ahead of that one. Doyle now chimes in. Shuffles off the first one. Doyle still going, driving the legs, takes him up over halfway. Two is ragdolled to the ground. Nuka comes in to push the tackler out of the way. So Feli plays at the line now. They go out the back door. Motu Muave.
Move, 8, 14, pick him up. Hold. Final 8, release.
Last tackle coming up. Swing it out to Tane Paki. Paki now tucks the ball under the wing and is going to go on a little run here. Paki stepping his way through. Tane Paki does it all on his own in the end. Looked like he was shaping for a kick initially and then just takes off. Let's take a look on the SAS Sporting replay. And they get to last tackle. At first, Paki sort of looks out towards his wing and then says, hang on, there's a staggered line here, beats one, shakes off Havili. And then from there, must be said, some questionable defensive efforts from the Papakura team, and Paki slides his way over for yet another Otahuhu Leopards try.
Yeah, there was a big gaping hole right where the referee was standing. There was nobody next to him in the defence line, and the referee just stood out of the way. Another familiar sight there by the SAS upright.
Doyle steps in, converts from next to the uprights, and they are fast approaching the 40 mark. Scoreline, I dare say few would have predicted. Stowers kicks long and high, juggled by Mikaeli. So Feli charges forward. Turufenua runs it at Havili. Tasesi comes in to help finish off along with Ika Hihifo. Swing it out the back now. Paki dinks a little kick in over the top. Bouncing one, difficult one. The chase isn't ferocious by any means from Otahuhu, and they look up there and then big contact over the top from Captain Tanakoya. Napara looking to get his team out of trouble with a little dart.
Pick him up.
Footy goes to the line, charging those legs. Kahifo now with the flick pass out the back. They need to be careful. Setutu looming up. Napara gets there just in time. Havili kicks down towards the corner. Doyle back to receive. Taking the ground by Stowers.
On the line, on the line. One. Help! Marcus! Hold.
Still looking to move at this left side.
Offside. Wow.
Tongia beats one, beats two. Boy, he's been good since coming on. The former Auckland Vulcan. Played some country league over in Australia for the Orange Hawks as well. Back to his junior club and having a heck of a game today. Doyle chips it in over the top. Back to receive is Marshall Barton.
Play it where you are.
It looks like there has been maybe a little tactical shift there. It looks like Marshall Barton's playing more the fullback role now. Perhaps Aquila Tuha has shifted to the wing now. And speaking of Tuha, breaks out wide and then is taken out. But Witty Header gets it, bundles him out into touch. So scrum to pack down, 40 off the line. The Leopards just won't let up.
Just hold it there, boys. Wait till he calls out. Head. Stay there. Heads in. Ball. Out. Well done, boys. Come in.
Noka. Charging at the line. Ropati involved in the tackle now. Setu too. Look out. This guy's got some footwork on him. Sesesi gets in early to shut him down. They're only 20 out from the line now, the Leopards. Are there further points to come? The game's not even 50 minutes old yet. Queer.
3 and up. All good? Yeah, all good. Well done.
So Feli goes backdoor. Doyle. Tongia short range now. Tongia had the offload ready. Taken down by Stowers, who finished off nicely over the top. Doyle turns play back. Motu Moave. Witihira. Ragdoll to ground eventually by Tuha. Last tackle coming up. Paki. Awkward ball right into where the sticks are here at Prince Edward Park. It's been flicked back into the field of play. I think we're going to go back for a knock-on. And it will be Papakura ball. So they defend that one. Papakura looked a little better on their line on that occasion.
0. Move. Stand up. 0. What's the head? Move now. 6. Up together. Oh. Move.
Uasi works it down the short side now. Evian Hunt involved.
10. 3.
Strange to see this Papakura team struggling so much. It was only a couple of years ago they won the whole competitions. We see a poor play of the ball there. And yet another turnover. But 2016 they were the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership champions. An all-conquering side. They had Reece Joyce in there. A number of forwards who really made their mark in that competition under coach Richie Blackmore. So it's strange to see them struggling here now, especially with some of the quality they still have in this team. But it's a real rebuilding year, it looks like, for this club. And you would think if they do go down on a heavy one here today, Troy, there starts to be serious questions about how the second round goes and whether this club can remain in the Premiership. So they want to pick up points and remove some of that stress, but the way they're playing today, it's hard to see them turning this one around.
Well, they're up against a very enthusiastic Otahuhu side. And, you know, he sort of alluded to it earlier today when John Ackland mentioned about the learnings they took from the Mount Albert Glenora match. And I think some of those learnings today you're seeing executed out here. They're just playing with a lot of positivity, a lot of energy, and they seem to be super fit too. They're travelling at one speed and it's full noise, and there they go again.
Takes the side up over halfway. They miss out Turowhenua. Instead go to Doyle, who shuffles play on to Quea. Turowhenua gets the legs rolling. 25 out from the line now. The Leopards can smell blood. Tongia. Sione Tongia breaks one. Obstruction's going to be the call. Penalty. Papakura was looking ominous.
Yeah, and Big Freddie will enjoy playing with this young group. You know, it's we'll give him an extra couple of miles in the tank. You know, whilst the young guys are running around showing a lot of energy, and I'm pretty sure he'll be enjoying himself. So we wait for Seagulls to kick the touch. On the line.
Line it up. Go.
So a huge set here for the Seagulls. They get the penalty on the back of it as well, so here's a chance to build some pressure. Taimani is the man infringed on. Stowers, it looks like, will kick for touch. Louis, and there's a knock on. So, given their golden opportunity to get back into it, and all Papakura can come up with is an error that is super disappointing. Kalipi Louis it was who carried the ball forward and really just spilt it. Schoolboy errors. Sean Motumoave seems to be playing halves role at this point. Remember when they lost Dylan Uate earlier in the game, as Setu comes in with another good carry. He's been fantastic today off the wing. Nuka Nuka as well got involved in the work.
3 off the ball. Wait.
Really slowed the ball down there, didn't they?
Ball all the way with me, girl, all the way. Hold. Wait, guys.
Tanakwea, ball spills loose, Doyle's onto it. Broken ball situation here now. They might be short out on this left edge here, Papakura. They head back in field now through Witi Header. Witi Header runs behind his own player, no obstruction called. 40 out from the line. Wanting that quick play the ball, they get to it. Doyle thinks a little kick in over the top. It's been clean missed by Papakura. Napura back there, cleans it up. Tackled 5 out from his line. Plenty of live league action available today, ladies and gentlemen. We're bringing you our second live stream game now. And in just a couple of hours' time, the Vodafone Warriors kick off, taking on the South Sydney Rabbitohs. The curtain raiser to that one will be the Mount Albert Lions and the Point Chevalier Pirates. 5:10 kickoff, live on Sky Sport 2. Or if you are going to the game, get there a bit early, grab yourself a hot dog and some drinks, and enjoy some top-class local rugby league action. We see another penalty here now. Papakura say we'll tap and go. Footy takes it forward, pumps off the first one. Good carry forward there by Tuiloma Footy.
Now move it. Go.
Uasi brings Manuel Lea into the action.
Ready. Don't play it on him.
20 out from the line. Uasi jumps onto a quick play the ball now. Phoenix Hunt. Hunt now is going to go himself. Tackled well down low, just short of the line still. Uasi swings play out the back. Evian Hunt. They shuffle it on, but Otahuhu
Great
scrambling
defense,
well.
yeah.
Stand now. We're up.
Hunt kicks there. It finds Farton Benedict, who had a speedster looming on his inside. It's fortuitous there for Papakura that he was brought to ground.
Turn, release now. Square. Hold. Guys, have a look. That's not 10 metres though. No, it's not. Mine.
Witi Header bumping the ball forward. Todor Purcell back onto the field as well. Only makes the challenge harder for Papakura. Marshall Barton named on the wing, but now playing that fullback role. He's chased down furiously by Setutu. Napura gets on the end of it. Tuha.
3, get up.
Ikahahifo. Good carry forward there from the veteran second rower.
4.
Stowers gets onto it now, looking for options. Uasi ducks his way back inside. Gets it back to Stowers. Eventually taking the ground. Doyle involved. Short they go. Hunt plays at the line and it's put down. And really, that sums up the day for the Papakura Sea Eagles. But Troy, they're just not able to dent the line so far today, and it means they're going wide too early. And we've seen a number of errors there. But unusual to see because they've got a pretty big forward pack, but just have not been able to match it with Otahuhu in the middle.
Yeah, and again, I come back to the enthusiasm of the Otahuhu Leopards, you know, whether they've been on attack, and they've shown a lot of flair on that today, but they've all worked for each other on the defence, you know, and they've carried the load, and they've been really, really positive around that. And, you know, that's just given them more go forward when they've had to turn to play with the ball. And, you know, here comes another dangerous man back onto the field, and they'll start working off the back of their momentum, and here they come again.
3 now, 17 up.
Total Purcell has to reach high for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Wasn't really ready for it.
Throws a pretty questionable pass out to his left edge, cleaned up by his teammates though, so no drama done.
Let's go. Stand up.
So the Seagulls are screaming for the kicker to put pressure on. They need to chase hard and fast, because that boy's been playing well all day, is young Doyle.
Scooped up on the 30 then by Napara.
Play it.
The chase is up to it. Nuka Nuka leading the way. Evian Hunt. Marshall Barton now bringing a little bit of energy to this team. Like what he's done so far in the second half. Since moving to fullback, Wasi. He goes short side. Ika Hahifo. Manu Lelia.
Look at the vigour from the Otahuhu boys. You know, there's 2 or 3 on that, and those 2 that stepped out earlier back in the line straight away, and they'll need to be, because heck, and that last pass just goes astray.
Lock on, 4 tackle.
And Otahuhu are already binding. They're already set, ready to go.
Yeah, they can't wait to get back into it, and on days like this,
Right, boys,
pretty easy to be enthusiastic.
On days like this, you never want the clock to stop. You just want to keep going all afternoon into the evening.
Handball. Oh. Move. Hold.
Mikaeli
Go. One.
scored a nice try earlier in the game.
Move, Mo. Again up. Hold. No 2.
Bumping carry forward there from Halani back on the field. Very strong in his first stint. Bafusawanga jumps out, dummies to Toto Purcell. Instead takes the tackle himself, wants to quick play the ball. Doyle goes out the back door now. Pucky kicks long. He's caught the winger up here. If the chase is good, he may be in some trouble here. Napara, it's a perfect little kick. Holds up. Pucky, great kick chase as well around the legs. This is good stuff from Otahuhu. A real pleasure to watch right now.
So we're coming up to second tackle here. Corey got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Papakura Seagulls still yet to get back on side.
Hand on ball.
This will help.
Hand on
Pressure
ball.
relieving penalty.
Yep.
Hand on the ball, mate. You got players offside?
Who won't want to ease off here. It was, you know, that last passage of play. They'd been camped down on side their 20 there for a little bit of time, and they just managed to break out. Looking at the clock, it's sort of now or never for Papakura Seagulls.
Footy, here's a good carry, gets the offload. Sorry to interrupt you, Troy, but once again, to the wrong man. They're going to get a penalty at the end of it, but boy, second time Footy's just offloaded blindly there. The first one he got punished with a 70-metre intercept. That time he gets let off the hook.
I was just about to say, you know, the need for patience and to build some pressure, you know, especially off, you know, completing a set of 6.
Mark's over here. What are you doing? If you're tapping, I'll move, so wait.
There's an extended chat. Wally comes over and says no.
Stowers puts that one safely into touch.
Who's for it me? Who's for it me? You watch that for it?
Back into it we go now. Footy carries forward, leaves two literally on the ground.
He's
Great carry
basically
forward.
leading the way, isn't he?
He is indeed. And if he can get those offloads going to the right people, he may be the man to spark some life into this one. Now we've got time off as a trainer is in back play. And just speaking of that, Troy Footy has now left the field. He's been replaced. So they've obviously got all they were going to out of the big man.
He hasn't got the ball.
Strip is the call. So everything going their way in the last few minutes here, Papakura. Can they find points on the back of it? Just the one try to their name so far. Quini Ropati scoring early in the piece. They've had nothing since. Tesesi.
Here it is. What?
Havili clears the ruck. They go short side now and they bring Taimani in on the short ball. Right up against the line. Taimani's in a bad way here. Looks like it may just be cramp. So time pauses here.
Bring the ball back here.
15 minutes to go at Prince Edward Park. It is the Leopards firmly in control. Down to this left edge they come now. Quick hands, they shuffle play on. Bundled into touch. Too good, Otahuhu Leopards, too good.
They managed to scramble well. Great sliding defence. Tied him up over the line. Touch line, that is.
You've got too much to say. I explain my situation and you want it. I listen to you. I explain. That's it. We're not debating the point, okay?
You would be picking up some of the audio there from our Ctas live stream with the referees just having a wee bit of chat to the front rows as they get ready to pack down.
Thank you. Okay, formation, guys. Catches, I'll call out. Arms over. Come on.
Got a couple of big units in the back line here. Looking for a special tackle, or at least to contain them down here.
Not injury, it's crap. Move.
So a bit of a reprieve in the scoring here now. And really, it's due to the fact that the Seagulls have had almost all the possession in the last 10 minutes, thanks to a number of penalties. Speaking of penalties, now Otahuhu are going to get one going their way. But they'll want to finish with some points here because they have, for the last few minutes at least, not been able to play the kind of rugby league they'll want to here, the Leopards.
Yeah, they've basically slowed that whole flow down.
Of course, at 38 points to 4. It's not criminal to let your foot off the gas a little.
Give it to him now.
Setu 2 to get play back underway.
Go.
Ethan Nuka.
Okay, here we go, boys. You get in there, Corey. Movement! Marcus down! Good. One.
Holani. And there is someone down in back play.
Yeah, it's a big knock too.
And he hasn't moved. And there's a nasty hit there. And the man down.
Let them do it.
And so it looks like we will have to take a bit of a break here from the action on that one. A nasty head knock by the look of things. So we will bring you updates on the progress of the player. But in the meantime, a short break here at Prince Edward Park. I'm sure both teams more than happy for the break. It's been a fairly end-to-end sort of game, despite the scoreline. Not a lot of errors in it. Pretty good conditions here for rugby league as well. Chilly down here at Prince Edward Park, but nice and dry. See a good crowd out here as well, Troy. Always good to see the support at these local games.
Yeah, and a lot of it's travelling support too, Corey. You know, there's a lot of Otahuhu Leopards merchandise here. Yep. You can see some of the Letterman jackets there. So a lot of Leopards fans have travelled today, you know, to come out to Kura's home ground to watch the boys play. And I think as you had in the preamble, the interview with John Ackland, the coach, you know, they took, again, going back to the Mount Albert Glenora game, he was really happy with how the boys were travelling, you know, even though they come off the back of a couple of losses there, and they'd learned a lot. So, you know, John's like a professor of the game.
Absolutely.
You know, we've had the pleasure of spending a wee bit of time with him, and he definitely would have done his homework on that, and some of that homework I think is coming to fruition today, and it's just bad luck for Papakura Sea Eagles that, you know, they've decided to come out here and unload.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I think this young team, obviously they were very young last year, but experiencing that success in the Sharman Cup and the way they went about it, they will have taken so much from that, and to some degree they've been able to carry that into the Fox this year. And I know, you know, they've only picked up a couple of wins, but have played most of the top teams now, have looked more than at home in this competition. And look, I think this is a team who is really going to be among that group, kind of challenging for that top 4 position come the end of the year. They're more than capable of footing it with those ones. And the big one for me, I think, some of the talent they've got in that forward pack, so hard to stop when you get the likes of, you know, Connor Todo Purcell, Richard Halani going. We've seen Tana Quer, the captain, make a really good return today.
I've liked Geronimo Doyle. I thought he's been all over the park today. Everything he's touched has turned to goal. His kicking's been great. You know, he's had a stellar game. One of the key things you said today as this game was unfolding was, it's been a long time since a team from Sharman Cup's come up to Fox and has actually come up in the ladder, you know, been up off ground floor. And I think, you know, in the second round, okay, you've sort of touched on they're going to be in the top 4, possibly, but I don't see them worrying about relegation. They're going to be up there and contesting in the top half of the ladder at least.
Absolutely, and you know, really at the halfway point of the season, that is half the battle, is removing that anxiety. I guess we saw Richmond do it last year. They started really well in the first round and then able to play a bit more free in the second round. You're not worrying about it. It improves the whole mood of the club when I guess the threat of relegation isn't hanging over you. And really, if you look at the points that Otahuhu, by the time this win is added on, the points they've amassed, really, you know, if we look at past examples, that should be more than enough to ensure safety. It's the most points we've seen from a newly promoted team in a number of years. I think Mangere East would have been the last one when they returned back to the Fox a number of years ago and were kind of challenging for that top 4. So it's great to see, but of course Otahuhu being such a big club, they were always going to have the strong foundations. Even though they were in the second division, there was always going to be the talent there to maintain this if they could get back up. The key was getting back up quickly, I think, wasn't it? They couldn't afford to spend a couple of years down there. No. So the quick return was key.
So they changed internally as well. I think that was one of the reasons they brought John Ackland on board. And, you know, again, from John's perspective and a couple of the conversations that we had with him, you know, going into that coaching position, was that Otahuhu was a proud and traditional club, and he wanted to make sure that they fortified their position in regards to, you know, they're in Sharman Cup. It was the first time. They're going to only be a quick visitor. They're going to work with the group that they have. You've already touched on, you know, the young group that's come through. They've managed to keep them together, and it's going to pay dividends back into not just this season, but imagine what this is going to look like over the next 2 to 3.
Absolutely, yeah. And look, if they can, I guess, keep around most of those really good young players, you know, just looking at their team list here, outside of obviously Freddie Torofenua, who is into his 30s now, most of this team have got 19s, 20s, 21s next to their age. They have all got their best football ahead of them, you know, outside of Torofenua. Most experienced players in this squad, Sione Tongia, who's been just about the man of the match today, and also Vaufu Swanga at dummy half as well. So their best footy is in front of them, and signs are looking pretty good for this Otahuhu Leopards team. If you are just joining us and you've joined in late, we are taking a prolonged break for an injury here. We have a player down with a concussion issue, getting some medical attention on the field right now. So we do apologise for the delay in the game, as we see Otahuhu now going into their warm-ups again. John Ackland on field as well. Plenty of concern being shown for the injured player on the ground here now, and of course, if it does cause too much of a delay, we may end up with this game being called a little short at 38 points to 4. I'm not I'm not sure they'll be taking any risks with that sort of thing. So great to see plenty of concern being shown. We can see Jack Prendergrass, the Otahuhu trainer, in there as well, helping out. So plenty of player concern being shown as well. And I'm actually just wondering, Troy, we can see referee Hayden Price on screen now having a word to Roman Hefo. So I do wonder if there may be a chat going on there about our future options in this one. Of course, there is only so much daylight left in this one.
Siren in the background. I'm just going to step out, Corey, and I'll come straight back, mate.
Good time to once again give one final plug to the Auckland versus Tonga New Zealand residents match, which is coming up this coming weekend, June the 2nd, at Mount Smart Stadium. It's going to be a massive game. The curtain raiser played by the Auckland Māori Under-20 and Toa Samoa Invitational Under-20. Tickets available on ticketek.co.nz. Watch aucklandleague.co.nz for all the build-up. We've had videos as well in recent times with David Fusitua, Solomone Kata, Hami Loaki. So everyone getting behind this one as well. So it's going to be a huge game. We'll be streaming live from Mount Smart Stadium. Premiership action taking a break next weekend to accommodate that one. I think most of the kids' football as well taking a rest. So if you did have holiday plans, maybe put them on hold, get yourself down to Mount Smart Stadium instead. Some great players taking the field in that one. Some of the best domestic players in New Zealand, of course, the likes of Daniel Palavi, Abraham Papali'i, Reece Joyce as well in the squads. Tonga to trim down their playing 17 in the coming days, along with Auckland. The Tongan team being coached by Dwayne Mann, the Auckland side being coached by 3 times SAS Fox Memorial Premiership winger Grant Pocklington. See Coach John Ackland now bringing his players together for a chat as the injured player remains down and back play. So we're now going to take a bit of a break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in a couple of minutes time to give you an update on what is happening in this game, but just an update for the time being. We do have a player down injured and we're just waiting to see how this game will progress. The player not able to be moved at this stage. So a decision to be made on the future of the game in the next couple of minutes.
John! Hackers! go 15-minute job. That's our number one priority. Done, boys? All right. Yep. Okay.
So an update from Prince Edward Park, ladies and gentlemen, and we have called the game early due to a bad injury on the field to one of the players, one of the Papakura players. So that will be the final scoreline, ladies and gentlemen. The Roof Care Otahuhu Leopards 38, Manaia Homes Papakura Sea Eagles for a shortened game here. We won't play out the final 12.5 minutes of this one. So we will now go on field.
Thanks, boys, eh?
So that'll conclude our coverage here today, ladies and gentlemen. Our apologies for the early finish to the game. Do tune in next week. We're bringing you the live stream from the Auckland vs Tonga New Zealand residents. Keep an eye on aucklandleague.co.nz for all the updates throughout the week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today.
Live league action. In 2018, the Auckland Rugby League is putting the game in your hands. Never miss a hit from New Zealand's premier rugby league competition. To get the inside edge on where you can watch the action live and free, head up aucklandleague.co.nz. Live league action. aucklandleague.co.nz.
Malari, e Palame Lawaki. Come support us take on Auckland at Mount Smart Stadium. Grab your tickets from ticketing.co.nz. Let's go.
Otahuhu on the left-hand side. These guys called it. So don't worry about what we're doing. Yeah, I'll wait here and trigger the pulse.